From time to time, people live in unbelievable places where it's hard to imagine how one can live comfortably, let alone survive. Valleys where normal people have a hard time just to breathe, an isolated island where private boats are the only way to get to it, small islands that seem like they are disappearing. In short, us humans can be found anywhere and everywhere. Hello everyone! Did we catch your attention yet? Welcome to our channel. In this video, we will introduce unbelievable places where humans live. Now please, relax. Our journey is about to start. Just Room Enough Island. The first in our list is a charming American island that floats right by the Canadian border. The island has just enough area. The name Just Enough Island means exactly that. It's just enough. The island is 310 square feet. It is enough for a house, a tree, and a small beach. What else does this American family need, other than being away from the bustle of the city and spending a quiet and peaceful time? Looking from afar, it may look like there is a house built directly on the water's surface. Administratively, this island belongs to a village in the Alexandria Bay, but the island is blocked off from the village by a rather wide strait. You may be surprised and think to yourself, I can't believe people want to live here, but you can go further than this island if you want to get true peace and quietness. The house was constructed by the Sizeland family back in the 1950s. What they were looking for was peace and quiet. We are sure the Sizelands definitely found that here on this island. And at the same time, thanks to them, the small village gained a new sightseeing spot for themselves. The Village of Korush. The history of the Caucasus. There are many dramas in their history. From the Bronze Age, someone, without a pause, went through these mountains to go from Europe to Asia, or on the flip side, from Asia to Europe, in hopes of conquering other lands. From the Crimeans to Russians and Turks, probably all people of great historical importance here has a name for themselves in this land. People of small nations like Chechnya, Ingushetia, and Dagestan climbed up to higher and higher lands while hiding in the depths of mountains and valleys that are hard to reach, to hide themselves from the frequent armies that intended to conquer others. And this is how the village with the highest elevation in Europe, Korush, was born. The village is now under possession of the Republic of Dagestan. The elevation of Korush is 2,560 meters. This is a true hideout, and Lezgins, who used to be this village's residents, used to attack surrounding people of a different nation and hid themselves after the attack. However, no one attacks and conquers land in this area anymore, so there is virtually no meaning in it functioning as a hiding place. There are people still living there in this valley between mountains, far from other populations. Tristan da Cunha. There are few islands that are populated, even though it is far isolated from the other civilized areas. We went over to the Pitcairn Island and St. Helena Island in a previous video, so today we would like to introduce a different island in the Pacific Ocean, the Tristan da Cunha. If you feel like you've been going through hard times recently, let's remember others that are in much harder situations. For example, if you ended up living in a very rural village where you have to be on a bus for dozens of kilometers just to get to the nearest grocery store, remember that those that live in the only community on Tristan da Cunha, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. There are about 266 people living in Edinburgh of the Seas. The closest neighbouring community is across the ocean, over 200 kilometers away. The only connection to the outside world are ships that stop by at ports from time to time. How can people live in such an isolated world? However, for those that have had enough of the busy town life, spending some time here might be healing. La Rinconada. Humans are not made to be able to adapt to extremely high places. We usually experience uncomfortable symptoms after passing 4,000 meters in elevation. and once we get past an elevation of 5,000 meters, it is said to be impossible to constantly live in that situation. It seems like the first resident of La Rinconada decided to test out if that information was true or not. Surprisingly, the elevation of this village is 5,100 meters. It is the highest place of residence in the world. Therefore, it is very hard for those that are not trained to stay for an extended period of time. It is always freezing in La Rinconada. The air is thin, so you cannot breathe well, the area is polluted, and the infrastructure is not well built. This place is nowhere near the lives of normal visitors, but for those that love being in extreme conditions and love a crazy vacation, there is nothing stopping you from visiting. But the people that come here are mostly there to earn money, not to sightsee. Actually, there is a gold mine where much gold can be found in La Rinconada. Because the gold can be extracted, about 30,000 people live in this place, far from civilization, a place almost like hell. However, it is obviously not good to live here permanently, so most people are there on a limited time basis to work as seasonal workers. AlHajjar. A small village in the country of Yemen, AlHajjar. If you take only a glance, it is simply an area with interestingly designed 5-story houses, and it seems like it is part of a town. But unbelievably, these buildings were not recently built. The construction of AlHajjar dates back to the 12th century. The majestic leaders of the Sulehid dynasty surely did not think that the community they built would be counted as one of the most unique designs in the world. They were simply trying to build a strong fort that would be the military headquarters for the repetitive wars. AlHajjar used to be one of the largest and richest cities in Yemen and was also an undefeatable fortress. The multi-story tower house acted as a fortress on its own, and it was designed to be able to withstand encirclement from large enemy armies. These towers were built on the sides of the Haraz mountains by piling up heavy rocks on top of each other without using mortar. It is said that even at that time, visitors who came from many different areas of the Eurasia continent were amazed at its rareness and beauty. AlHajjar is no longer meant to be a defense facility, and there are normal people peacefully living in these tower houses from the Middle Ages. But the impressiveness of these buildings still draw many tourists, and fascinates those that come. The Hanging Temple, the Hengshan Temple. There are many amazing temples and monasteries in parts of Asia that are built in places that are difficult to get to. Considering that the monks sought environments far and isolated from civilization, this is not a surprise. When you hear of Asian temples in mountainous areas, most people will recall Tibet's Himalayan citadel architecture, the Dzong. But there are other gem-like famous places that hit you emotionally in other areas of Asia. One of them is the Hengshan Hanging Temple, next to the holy Hengshan Mountain in the Shaanxi province of China. The Hengshan Hanging Temple is the only temple in China that combines the three major religious traditions, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. All of the buildings are supported by a wood pillar that stretches from the hard rock wall, is built precisely, and the stone rock wall acts as a wall for the building as well. This dynamic hanging temple sometimes literally looks like it is floating in the air. There are more than 40 gorgeous rooms and galleries in the temple, and many beautiful Buddha statues are enshrined there. The temple, in its entirety, seems as if it jumped right out of a fantasy novel or an oriental fairy tale. The monks have been living here for more than 1,500 years. The only ordinary people that come to visit are worshippers and tourists, but it still amounts to a lot of people and is said to be the sightseeing spot with the most tourists in China. The Hengshan Hanging Temple is also definitely the most unique tourism spot in China, excluding that one long wall that everyone goes to when they visit China. Well, that concludes our tour of visiting unbelievable and surprising places humans live. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you liked your tour. Please do share this video to your friends, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. We are also looking forward to comments about themes you are all interested in learning more about. If you have ever been to places introduced in today's video, it would be great if you would share your opinions about the visit. Not only us, but the other viewers as well are very interested in your adventures. Well, we will have to say goodbye for now. We will see you again. Bye!